Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Many, if not all of us, are challenged by allergies at one point in our life. Maybe it's an ongoing situation, but the surprise here is that what you're allergic to could be presenting health challenges that you're not even aware of. I've learned so much from this woman when it comes to allergies, and she is the inventor of the allergykit.com to help so many people. Ynge joins us again. Ynge, how are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing fabulous. Still alive, still here.
Yes, and I'm proud to say that last night, for the first night in probably 5, because I've been busy, got a lot going on, went to bed late. I got a good night's sleep last night, and I feel like I got clarity. I'm plugged in. But
Top of the world.
yeah, sleep is so important. So we're going to talk a little bit more about sleep today and how you can improve your sleep patterns and what is potentially preventing you from sleeping. Where do we begin with sleep?
Well, maybe how you go to bed. Most people, they feel that they're sleepy and maybe go to bed, or they say, no, I have to do this first, and then they go to bed and then they cannot fall asleep. Because number one, we have a circadian rhythm, and that is more or less 90 minutes. For some 95, others 85, but more or less 90 minutes. So if you want to take and check where your circadian rhythm is, pay attention to when you start to yawn in the evening. So if you start to yawn at 8, well, you know that if you start to yawn again at 9:30, that's your 90 minutes. So if you go to bed at 10 or 10:15, you're in the middle of the rhythm and you won't fall asleep. And the funny thing is that when you won't fall asleep, even if you have another circadian rhythm coming after, it's like as if you get into a second rhythm and you don't fall asleep. So the best thing is, first of all, to decide where your circadian rhythm is. So let's say that you find out that the best time for you would be to go to bed at 10, which is the best time, because I will explain that too. Our gallbladder it's their time between 11 and 1. The liver cleanses between 1 and 3, and so does the brain.
Wow.
So if you are not asleep during this time, you are missing out on something very, very important in the cleansing of our body systems. And also during that time, maybe to 3:30, the growth hormone is secreted. And the growth hormone is not something that stops when we stop growing. It has to do with the tissues, everything in the body, really. So if it doesn't produce the growth hormone when it's supposed to, then the blood sugar goes off, because that goes totally off too. And that's how the blood sugar will store as fat instead of storing as energy. So it's a whole thing that goes on during the night that is so important, and I don't think people are aware of this. So
not at all. And you know what? I had no idea about what you're speaking of. And I think a lot of us view sleep. It's a good thing. You feel better, but it's almost like a chore. I got to go to bed. Got to get to bed. Got to go to bed. We don't realize the benefits of what's actually happening to our bodies behind the scenes while we are sleeping.
Exactly. And if you struggle with sleep problems, first of all, turn it whole into a ritual. Number one, turn the computer and phone off 2 hours before you calculate that you're going to go to bed. Let's say that your 90 minutes, your circadian rhythm comes up at between 10 and 10:15. So 2 hours before, turn off the computer. 1 hour before, turn off the TV. And get yourself ready for bed. wash yourself. If you take a shower, take a shower. If you just brush your teeth, do that. So when, instead of watching TV, and you can read a book, listen to music, meditate. Meditation is excellent. It relaxes you. It's much easier to go to sleep.
Mhm.
So when you start yawning, at the first sight you start yawning, you'll go pee if you need to, and then go to bed, and you will fall asleep.
I want to ask you before we move past that point, when you say yawning, is that really a sign that it's time to go to bed? Is that truly your body saying that?
At night, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, one would think that you have a yawn. It's like, "Yeah, I'm getting there close," but no, it sounds from what you're saying, go to bed at that
Yeah,
point.
it probably has to do with something that when you get tired, maybe you don't breathe in as much
Mm,
as
okay.
you should. I don't really know, but I know when you yawn, it's time to go to bed.
So I want to ask you, while we centered on the circadian rhythm, can you reset that? I've always been a big believer in, you just got to get in a rhythm, a sleep rhythm. And, I'll even tell my kids this and other people that, based on my experience, and over the years, I had some crazy sleep schedules, that you got to go to bed same time every night. I don't care what's going on. You need to. That's it. If it's 10 o'clock, stick to 10 o'clock and you'll be better off for it. Does that make sense? Or do you
Yes.
agree?
And some people say, no, I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Not true. It's just that you have taught yourself to become a night owl.
Hmm.
And often, well, it's quiet. Everything is quiet around you. And often people find it easier to work. I have done that myself, but
Sure.
a long time ago, I don't do that anymore because I need my
Well-
sleep. I know I need my sleep.
You need your sleep. And what does it do? Even from that 1 or 2 nights of not going to bed at the normal time, you just screwed up your rhythm. So now you get back into it again.
Yes. And what you also screwed up, and you can see that if you measure your blood sugar,
Mm.
one night's sleep, disturbed sleep or not enough sleep, can set the blood sugar off for several days.
Wow.
And well, I always talk about sugar and blood sugar and belly fat, because the first sign of blood sugar imbalance is belly fat.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to look down. That's kind of scary.
So the whole thing, with the belly fat, with the sleep, it's all connected.
Yeah.
And we spoke a little bit about allergies. Of course, allergies can, because it affects so many things. So if your digestive system is not, doing what it should do, that can affect your sleep. Congestion, we talked about that. For example, if you're allergic to milk or dairy products, which is phlegm producing. And by the way, ear infections in children is really an allergy to milk. Just think about it. So if your kid has a lot of ear infections, start to take him off of milk. And then we have dust mites, and dust mites are everywhere. I mean, you can try to put extra cover on your bed and clean it as often as you can, but they are there. And many people are allergic to dust mites.
Wow.
And dust mites causes respiratory problems during the night. So kids, for example, who have asthma, or they are disturbed, they wake up at night because they can't breathe properly, that's an allergy to dust mites.
Dust mites are even on your skin right now.
It's everywhere.
I mean, for anybody that gets like skeeved out about that, that's the reality. Hate to break it to you people, that it is what it is, and it could be impacting your sleep. So in terms of the allergy connection impacting your sleep, there's many other things, I'm sure, that are preventing us from getting a good night's sleep, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the things we can also do is take some herbal tea before we go to bed. And there are several of them that are really, really good. We can take chamomile, is very common. chamomile is also soothing, very soothing to the gut. And when children have tummy pains, it's a great remedy to give them a cup of tea, chamomile tea.
So quick question on that, Ynge. I can't do caffeine, and I accidentally had caffeine. It was in the wrong canister at a coffee shop about a month or so ago. I thought it was caffeine. I know it couldn't have been because I literally was not kidding, up 3/4 of the night, couldn't fall asleep. So when you talk about tea, I get concerned about caffeine.
Well, chamomile does not have caffeine.
It does not. Okay, wasn't aware.
No, these herbs is like lemon balm and which is lemon balm, for example, it's relative to mint. And the same thing, very calming, very soothing. You can even mix them. So that's two of them. Lavender. If you have some lavender oil, you can put a drop on your pillow, for example, or just put it on your hands, or that is calming.
I do that actually, and I find it works. My problem is I always forget to do it, and I have it on my nightstand. But it does. It's just a little subtle. You don't do too much, because
No, don't do too much.
Yeah,
and you don't want to spoil your pillowcase either.
and that too. Yeah, because it is an oil, but it does work. It really does work. What about while we're talking about things that can help you sleep better? Melatonin. Are you on board for melatonin?
Well, the melatonin, we don't want to some people cannot handle melatonin, and it is something that is, as soon as the sun goes down, the melatonin starts to be created. And if you stay up and you are on your computer and phone, for example, it's like you're inhibiting it. So it's really not worth taking the melatonin.
To that point, somebody recently told me, and it was very surprising. And this was somebody, a medical professional, that said this, that we typically take 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams of melatonin, but that's way too much.
Yes,
and
that's another thing. Mm-hmm.
Pharmaceutically, I don't know the exact amount, but it's a fraction of that 10 milligrams. So you're over, basically, not in a bad way, overdosing.
Overpowering the pineal gland.
Because your body is not producing 10 milligrams of melatonin, even 5, to go to sleep every day, or just to be in your body. So now you just get this rush of stuff coming in, and then either it's not going to work because it's too much, or you're going to feel groggy in the morning. I wish I could remember what the dosage should be. I can't, but I guess if you ask your doctor, they probably would know.
Yeah, no, you're overpowering, and then it doesn't work as it should. It gets lazy. We have the melatonin here. Why should we produce more?
Right.
And one thing that is very good for production of melatonin is when the sun gets up, try to go out in the sun for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, just have that light in your eyes.
Wow.
And that helps with the rhythm of the melatonin, because with the light, it stops to produce.
Interesting thought. And I will tell you this, the last couple of days, call it a week, I've been getting up, and the first thing I do, make a cup of coffee, and caffeine free, and I take my dog for a walk. And I know it sounds so basic and elementary, but I never did it before. And I actually look forward to it. And I just take a walk around, my area. That's it. And I come back, but I feel refreshed, like I'm ready to start the day. But maybe that has something to do with it, seeing the sun and the stopping the production of melatonin.
Yeah, probably, because you're balancing it out and making it more natural. So no, I'm not for melatonin. I think it should be, not something that you just take for taking it, because it's not really the right thing to do.
So while we're talking about melatonin, just to throw this out here because it's gotten extremely popular recently for sleep, but CBD, a lot of people are now taking CBD to help them sleep. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there are so many different CBDs, and there are CBD for different things. So I think I don't know enough about it. I haven't had the time to go into it deeper.
Mhm.
And I think you should go contact somebody who is a specialist and who works with more than one to see what your presentation is, what your body needs,
Yeah.
which kind of CBD you need.
Totally agree. And there's so many different types of CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, straight out CBD, and then the dosage. You know, it's not going to hurt you, but you don't want to overdo it because then you will feel groggy when you wake up in the morning. You always want to start with a little bit. You know, I've tried it. It's been beneficial, but I don't feel like I found the sweet spot of what I should be taking. So it's kind of a little bit of experimentation, but always start lower.
And everybody is different. And I have tried a couple of different things and I haven't seen any difference at all. So I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
But that's me. I'm not going to experiment more with it.
So you have invented the allergy kit, and it's at theallergykit.com. You have different kits for different challenges that people are going through. Let's say you have a sleep issue. Which kit would you suggest they give a try?
Well, it's because it can be so many other things. You have to see if you also have react to food or if you react to environment. It's everybody's different. So
Yeah.
I have different kits. I don't have one exactly for sleep
Sure.
because I think when you balance your body by eliminating your allergies and aid with, for example, chamomile and lemon balm tea, or valerian is a stronger one. It really almost knocks you out. So you have to be careful with the dosage, but it's over-the-counter herb. So there are different things with herbs that I think is more important. Plus, as I said, to have a ritual, to follow that and not just, okay, I'm hungry, like 10 o'clock and have some chips and then, oh, I'm sleepy, but I don't have time to go to sleep. I want to finish this first. And then they go to sleep in the middle of the thing. Their stomach is full with something they shouldn't have. And the whole system is off. So you really have to start to try to treat your body like a temple and not like a garbage dumpster.
You're 100% right about that, and I can only speak from experience, but I've started leaning toward the dumpster area. I got to get back to the other because even last night I ate something right before bed, and I don't know why, and it's probably because I hadn't been sleeping well the last couple of days, just been busy doing a lot of things, and I was tired. So what happens when you're tired? Produces a chemical that says, "Hey, eat. That'll make you feel better." And I think that's what I did last night, and you know, had some leftover Mexican food, which didn't. It was okay. It didn't hurt my sleep, but didn't really need it because I had eaten just a couple hours before that. But that is a true proven fact, right? That when you're
Yes,
tired,
but, you know, what I think, many people, they don't think about it, but when they feel like you did last night,
mm-hmm.
maybe you were thirsty.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. Maybe, you know, because I don't drink enough during the day anyway. So yeah, I think there's some validity in that. Okay, fair enough.
Because often, very often, people, they misunderstand their cravings for food as they need water. They are dehydrated.
Yes.
It's very, very common.
And you don't realize it. And you may be getting a headache and just think, oh, I just need sleep. I just need to relax. And no, you just need to drink something.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Well, but we got away from the allergy kit here, but this is all beneficial information, and it's so important because sleep is so important for people.
Yes. And
you know, I want to share this because it literally came out today, and it was a sleep survey, and I'm just going to click one thing here, and 18% of us claim that we would give up our cell phone for 1 month in exchange for perfect sleep, while another 27% would give up TV and also movies just to sleep better. Like, just give them up. So, I mean, it speaks volumes there that, so many people are addicted or attached to their phone and they just throw it away, even for a month, just to get the what we call perfect sleep for a month.
Interesting coincidence. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing with having your phone in your bedroom, and often people look at it, but the electromagnetic frequencies from the phones today, they are very, very strong. And if you have your charger next to you, not good, because we can handle most of us can handle it when we're moving around. But when you lay down and you are bombarded with these frequencies, it directly affects your whole body. Wow.
Never thought of that.
And many people get sick, and you can be allergic to it too. I have a vial for EMF.
You say that again.
I have a vial for EMF, electromagnetic frequencies.
Okay.
Many people are allergic to it.
Let me make sure I heard that clearer. So you have an allergy kit for that?
Well, no, I have, apart from the kits, they are basic. So for example, for food are the basic foods plus the basic 7 vials that you have to do in the beginning for your body to start to absorb nutrients. And then I have one for environment. There's also the basic what most people are allergic to. And of course, the autism kit, it's also the basic, but for example, the autistic kids or on the spectrum, they have so many more allergies. So I have like 300 vials extra, and I also make special vials for people who have other allergies. That is not because I can't have everything in a kit.
Sure. Wow. So many of us have our phones. Most of us use them for our alarm too. So it would be beneficial to spend $20 on some kind of alarm or alarm clock and put that next to your nightstand and put your phone downstairs.
You should learn how to wake up without an alarm. Very, very easy. You just have to remember to do it before. I have done that all my life. Nobody taught me. I did it as a child. Before I go to sleep, I just decide what time do I need to wake up. Is it 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 6:45, whatever it is. I just see the clock in front of me and say, that's when I want to wake up. And I do. And you can try to do it having an alarm. Haven't you often, you set the alarm, don't you wake up 5 minutes earlier?
Yes.
Or minutes? Yes.
Yes.
Because you know that you're supposed to wake up at that time. So doing that, you wake up by yourself. You don't wake up by that kind of upsets the whole body if you're asleep. So you feel refreshed.
I think it is a lot of us fear that we're going to oversleep. So to your point, Ynge, set it 15 minutes later, just as a backup, and then try to rely on yourself. When I was in a true sleep rhythm, I go to bed at the same time every night, I have to wake up the same time every night. I pretty much did what you just said. And people would say to me, well, you don't set like 2 alarms at 3 because I can't. I go to sleep. No. And if the alarm did go off, right away I'm up, shut it off, and I start my day. I don't think it's a good idea to snooze. Maybe I'm wrong, but to sit there.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think every time you snooze, you fall. It's like as if you go deeper and deeper into sleep.
And then you just interrupt it 15 minutes later. So what's the point?
Exactly. Better to get up and take it easy and do things with have better time.
Right. And I think, psychologically, we do the snooze alarm because we want to treat ourselves. I'm going to give myself another 15 minutes. There we go. Or another, it went off again. Another 15 minutes. But you'd be doing yourself more justice by getting up and like you just said, seeing some sunlight and getting into a nice little slow roll rhythm and starting your day instead of like start, stop. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And the other thing is that the alarm clocks, they have a lot of EMFs too.
then there's that. Well, there's a challenge. I'm a tech geek. I don't know where I would find an alarm clock without EMF emissions. I don't know. I'd have to.
That's an old-fashioned one.
Yeah, I'm sure they still make it where you wind it up.
Well, there are the ones with batteries. I think they are.
Yeah.
Better for
Yeah.
you.
Well, you know what? I guess it would be one that doesn't have a radio. All it is just, there's no emissions.
Just an alarm. Yes.
Yeah.
And for example, the kids on the spectrum, as I said before, they are very, very sensitive to the electromagnetic frequencies. So, and I know that often they bring their phones in bed, and it is detrimental for them. And I always, well, first of all, no phones in the bedroom, no TV, shouldn't be any TV either. And during the night, for example, at 7 o'clock, have a timer on the router for the Wi-Fi. It goes off at 10 and goes on at 6 or 7 again. Because when we, as I said before, when we lay down, we are much more exposed to these radiations. So just by automatically turn it off, you can save your kids and yourself if you're sensitive.
Okay, so just to make sure I have that clear, so turn off your Wi-Fi. Yeah, because you're not using it anyway, and it's very easy to do within your router, in your house. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put one of those clocks on.
Yeah, or there's apps where you can control,
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah, you could even control it from your phone, and it's automatically set up, let's say from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m., whatever it is, that your Wi-Fi is shut off. Interesting point. You're not using it anyway, so why not just shut it down?
Yeah.
You're a wealth of information, Ynge. Yeah, great talk today. We're just about out of time. TheAllergyKit.com is a website where you can find just that, different types of kits to figure out what type of allergies you or somebody in your family has, but at the same time also treat that with that kit, because it also includes a, can I call it a laser pen? Would I be accurate in that?
Oh, it's a cold red laser, yes.
Yeah. And all the instructions are in there, very beneficial. It's scientifically proven too that those types of lasers do make a major difference in impacting your health. Somebody wants to find out more, they can just go to the website and contact you, Ynge?
Yeah, they can go to Dr. Ynge, drynge.com, where they also can get a free PDF from my book, Finding Your Lost Child for Allergies, for Autism. And there is also a download for 10 surprising facts about allergies that you probably don't know.
Well, I thought I knew a lot about sleep, and I learned a lot right here in the last couple of minutes. And just things that you never think of that can make the quality of your life so much better when you get a great night's sleep. Always fascinating, Ynge. I appreciate it, and looking forward to talking again next time we get together.
Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.